All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants event. My name is Geographic, and I'll be your host for today. It is summertime, but lucky for us, we have a great crew of summer school classes from across the U.S. and Canada joining us live for a really special event today. Today, we are going live into the field, joining the team from National Geographic's Pristine Seas as they explore the western waters of Hudson Bay. So they're on board the MV Polar Prince, a 220-foot Indigenous-owned Canadian-flagged research icebreaker with a goal of supporting marine conservation in collaboration with Indigenous and regional partners across the Arctic and Subarctic. So the expedition is in partnership with Oceans North, with a multidisciplinary team that will explore and document the unique and largely understudied underwater ecosystems. And there's a media team on board that will capture footage to produce documentary films. So I am going to bring our team in live with us right now. We've got expedition leader Paul Rose standing by. Let's bring him in. Hey, Paul, how you doing today?
Yeah, we're doing great. Always good to connect with you and with the whole team here. Well, some of the team and everybody watching. And welcome to the subarctic of Canada. It's a beautiful day. We've had some funny weather. So we're celebrating today. It's flat calm. The views are beautiful. And we've got polar bears and belugas close by. So how cool is that?
All right. That sounds absolutely amazing, Paul. Before I let you take over and introduce us to some of your team members, I want to share my screen really quickly because you mentioned polar bears. And you sent me this great little clip of somebody coming and checking things out. So that's pretty cool to have those visitors coming by for a swim.
Yeah, we love that. I think he was trying to get us to come in for a swim, but we politely declined.
Probably for the best. Probably for the best. Well, Paul, let's meet some of the team you have there because I know you've got a great team there. We're excited to meet some of them.
We do. We're a big team. Our team is about 30 people, and with the ship team of 15, we're 45 on board at the moment. So next to me here is Alan Friedlander. He's our chief scientist.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. Great to be with you.
And a lot of you with Pristine Seas or who have been in these will know Alan very well. And next to him, that's Jenny Knopp. And Jenny's Knopp is from Oceans North, our partner. And Jenny knows everything about the Canadian Arctic. So okay, I'm the expedition leader, Alan's chief scientist, but effectively we're both working for Jenny, really. That's what it feels like. There's one Mayorga.
Hi, everyone.
Juan Mayorga is a key part of our science team. One is from Colombia. Yeah, so I'm from England, living in Switzerland. Alan's Hawaii. Jenny is Canada. Juan is Colombia. And we've got a man from New Zealand here, Luke.
How's it going, guys?
Luke is one of our field specialists and boat drivers. And who else is coming in? We've got...
Come on, Evan.
Hello.
Go, Evan.
Go on, Evan.
Tell everybody who you are.
My name's Evan from Hudson's Bay Coast, just around here.
Good man.
Yeah.
Elmer.
Go, Elmer.
My name's Elmer. I do stuff.
Yeah. And Tennille, one of the most important people on the ship. Tennille. Thanks, we've got three people that do all of the cooking and looking after all of our sort of domestic affairs, if you like, from cooking to cleaning to laundry and all the rest of it. They're the most important and busiest team on the planet. And come on, Clarence and the captain. Bringing in the chief engineer now. Chief engineer Clarence. There he is. Look at that.
Good day, Clarence German.
Give this fella a big round of applause. He keeps the whole thing going, particularly this session. It was a bit of a game to get this session. Yeah. Come on, Stefan. Stefan Guy, our captain. Stefan has a whole lifetime of experience working in these waters and many, many times on this vessel. So we're very grateful for Stefan for keeping us alive and running such a great team. So, yeah, so that's us. And there's a lot of people missing, but that's because they're out working. I don't know at the moment, but the conditions are perfect. We've seen beluga, thanks to Ephraim, who's one of our indigenous, he's one of the marine mammals experts. And deep within his DNA means he's got amazing eyesight and can spot anything. So he's spotted belugas today. So a lot of the team are out there filming, and the belugas, teams with the polar bear, and of course teams doing the research with our remote cameras and diving. So most people are off, but we're very happy to be here with you.
That's awesome,
Ephraim.
Paul.
Hey,
Ephraim. Here he is. This is Ephraim.
hey guys.
Hey,
This is
how
the
are
man
ya?
who can spot anything.
Doing great yourself.
Good.
Everything's all
Great
good.
to see you. Thanks for joining.
He's got binoculars, but doesn't need them. He can just spot anything anywhere.
That's awesome. Well, Paul, it's so great to see the team. It's so great to see so many familiar faces. Juan and I did an event from Colombia, Pristine Seas event not too long ago. Jenny, we've got a crew from, I think you mentioned you're from the Peterborough area. We got a classroom from Peterborough joining us today in Ontario. And Captain Stefan, I believe I recognize him from Canada C3. So it's so great to see so many familiar
That's
faces.
it.
Yeah.
He was
Awesome.
the captain on Canada C3. How cool is that?
Very cool.
You've got the medal, Joe. Well, it's lovely to be with you, mate.
All right. I want to share another little video clip here, Paul. You sent me another one. You were talking about the conditions being so beautifully calm today. And you sent me this amazing little clip here of these waters. It's, wow. So a little wind in the background, but that just looks absolutely incredible. Those still waters, the sun there. What colors?
That was a fun one, Joe. You know, waking up early every morning and just looking out from the side of the ship to see where we are and what the conditions are like. And we've had everything, you know, from rough seas to calm seas to everything. And it's that moment standing out there and getting in the moment, thinking how fortunate we are to be in this position. So it's a wonderful thing. And part of it, of course, is it's one thing being in these amazing locations, doing vital work, but it's quite another to be able to actually communicate it to people in real time. So you don't need to watch a film or read a book or pick up the news. This is really happening. It means a lot to us, Joe, that we can communicate right now with the future explorers and global leaders and people having fun in the outdoors.
Well, before we meet some of our future scientists, our future explorers, our future conservationists from across North America, I think it would be great to hear a little bit about some of the work that's been going on, some of the research, some of the, what's the team up to day to day?
Alan.
Sorry, team. I think we just lost you. I know you're in a remote location and things just paused on our side. But to our summer school groups who are joining us, we'll give it a moment because this has happened earlier when we were testing. And I think that they'll come back shortly, maybe a quick reset, and they'll be back in with us. We'll learn a little bit more about kind of what the day-to-day is looking like, what kind of information they're collecting, what they've seen so far. And then, of course, we'll turn our groups loose with some questions. I can see we've got groups tuning in live via the YouTube chat. So keep introducing yourself. Send us in some questions there. We're going to use those as well. And I think we just got Paul back. Paul and the team.
You're back. Yes. Everybody, as soon as I said how amazing it is that we can communicate with you live, we went off. So I won't mention that again.
All right. Well, let's get a little bit of the day-to-day.
Sure. Okay. Hey, everybody. Like Paul said, I'm Alan Friedlander, Chief Scientist for the expedition. So I'm kind of the orchestrator of the orchestra here, where all the different science is going on and what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. The water, most of the water up here, especially underwater, is not that well studied. Not many people have been underwater here for a number of reasons. One, it's really remote and hard to get to. The water's really cold. It's freezing in some places because salt water has salt in it. It doesn't freeze as quickly as fresh water, so it can actually be below freezing. So we need to wear these things when we get in the water, and they've got kinds of stuff associated with it. They've got gloves and boots, and it's quite a bit. It takes, almost a half an hour to get ready in the morning. We've got heating elements underneath. Water's really cold. Your head freezes up when you get in the water, but then when you get down, it's beautiful. Life thrives even at 0 degrees centigrade water temperature. All this life down there, anemones and fish and algae, and just it's stunning. You look at it in such a stark landscape, but yet underwater it's beautiful and not well understudied. We also have a bunch of other different tools at our disposal.
Oh, yeah, good man.
Give me a hand, buddy. Give me a hand because this thing is heavy. So this is one of our deep water cameras, and these have been to the bottom of the deepest parts of the ocean and then back again. And they drop down to the bottom. They film for 4 to 6 hours, and then they pop back up again on their own. And we're able to see what was down there because they're attracted to the bait. So it's a way to understand what's going on down deep where we can't go as divers. Get rid of that one. And then somebody throw me those things. Thanks, Jenny. And these are another set of cameras that we use. And these are just simple GoPros. There's 2 cameras. They've got lights on them. Let's turn it around. So they look like that. Again, these sit on the bottom as well for a couple hours and they film. And again, we can see things remotely that we wouldn't normally see while we're diving, because a lot of things are attracted, some things are scared away. And so that's kind of the routine. We're doing a bunch of different things. We're collecting things while we're down there because there's not been a great inventory of a lot of these places. So it's like summer camp for scientists. We get to go out, we get to use all these different tools, go diving, go collecting. Then we come back at the end of the day, we catalog things, we look under microscopes. Fun.
Yeah. What do you think? You see, the science doesn't just do it itself. You got to get people like Alan and his team in there doing it, and it's great to watch. It's a real thing of beauty. You know, we go to an area like this that hasn't been studied very much and hasn't been recorded very much in modern times, and so it feels a bit like a needle in a haystack. It's down to Alan and his team to work out where might be the best place to get good representative science and all the rest of it. So it's a beautiful thing. Who do you want next, Joe?
Let's bring Jenny in.
Jenny.
Let's get some
Come on,
Canadian
Jenny.
action. Come on up, Jenny.
There you go, Jenny.
Hi,
Thank you.
everyone. How you doing, eh? We got to say something Canadian to everybody. This has been a great experience working with the Pristine Seas team so far. We've been planning this expedition for about a year, which was fascinating to do during a pandemic. We weren't always sure it was going to happen, but here we are working with a lot of our Indigenous partners that you met at the start. There's 7 Indigenous regions that are working on conservation areas along the route, and we've been collaborating with them on the research and vision that they have for the documentary. And it's super exciting to meet all of them who are coming on board in each of the places that we're going. They're helping us figure out where to go, where to look underwater, what animals to look for, keeping the animals safe, keeping us safe from animals. They're wildlife monitors and making sure there are no bears while we're diving. It's super cool. We are going all through the northern part of the Atlantic. So North Labrador Sea, through Hudson Strait, Hudson Bay, and James Bay. We're exploring many Indigenous regions along the way, and they're hosting us in their communities, and we get to see their culture and where they live. A lot of these places are fly-in communities, so it's great that we can get there by boat. And I'm happy to answer any questions, but I think I'll pass it to another team member here.
Great stuff. Well, look, we don't go very far on these expeditions unless we eat really great food. I mean, that's right. Imagine. And this is a long expedition and it's cold. So come on, Tennille, tell us about the food.
What's for lunch?
Yeah, what's for lunch? Exactly.
I've got about 5 more minutes and then I've got to get down and help with lunch. But we've just had a fantastic time trying to make sure everyone is well fed and has the proper nutrition they need and the proper energy and lots of sugar and lots of treats. So I'm getting in a bit of trouble for giving everybody too much sugar, but I know they need it to keep up the work that they're doing and the important work that they're doing here. So we're having a lot of fun. And yesterday, everybody helped us get the food out of the freezer because we have a huge storage room or freezer that we couldn't get to. And everybody chipped in together to help us get in. There's Gail, head chef. Come on.
Oh, Gail's it. Come on,
Gail's
Gail.
here. You have to meet Gail.
Tell
So
us how hard
everybody
it is to
chipped in
feed-
It's an
together.
important moment. You're gonna see Gail, who's the head chef. Come on,
Yeah,
Gail.
so now I'll pass it to her. She just tells me what to do.
Tell all these kids about food.
Okay, well, we have lots on board. We have a great big container that's right full, and they get the food up for us, which is really nice. And it's really hard to find because it's all piled up, and they go looking for it, and they look under their feet, and then they realize it's there. So that's really nice. And we're lucky to have the extra help. National Geographic has helped us out a lot and finding things, and our deckhands have gone way and beyond the call of duty trying to find us the food, which is good. It's nice to have something to work with. And we're lucky we have such lovely people on board, and to work with such lovely people really makes our job a lot easier. Okay, I'll pass this on to someone else.
Awesome.
You can't go wrong. You can't go too far wrong. And you can tell we're all happy. We've been out for a long time, and we've got a long time yet. And you can tell the food is good. But just look at us. Come on, here. Luke, come on. This is Luke, who's one of our boat drivers and field specialist, New Zealand.
I'm going to introduce Sam as well, because fellow New Zealander we actually grew up together, so he got me along on this expedition. Absolutely amazing opportunity, so thank you, Sam. But yeah, we're boat drivers and field specialists. We help out with transportation of all the scientists, the media team, get them to where they need to go in the water, and just help oversee the conditions out there and make sure everyone stays safe. And yeah, that's part of our job.
Awesome.
And then we've got each region we go to. We're very lucky. We work with community representatives from each region. They've got various jobs. Sometimes they're bear guards. Sometimes they're here to explore their region for the first time. And we're going to pack them in because this region, this group, are all quite big fellas. So come on in, guys. Get in there, mate. Come say hello.
Hello, my name's Evan from Pewanik. It's on the Hudson's Bay coast near the James Bay. Right now we're here observing what they do here, and it's been awesome so far. It's been a pleasure to meet all of these people. You know, it's a career opportunity. I take it as that. It's awesome. And I'll lead it off to this guy.
I'm not good with speaking on camera, so you have to excuse me. I'm Fox Wobbin. Grew up with these two back in Pewanik, Ontario. It's a very small flying community. We're very lucky to have this opportunity to come on this big boat and come on out to the Arctic Ocean to explore and to find out new things about this land.
You knocked it out of the park. You said you don't speak. I'm with this guy. I'm just here to watch, help out with the crew, you know. Been helping the science crew actually pull out some of the probes they got in the water. But other than that, I'm just enjoying the food.
Hey, thanks, fellas. And we've got Juan Mayorga here, who you met briefly at the start, and one's a key part of the science team.
Hi, everyone. I'm on the science team. I work with Alan, and I help out all things related with science and managing and organizing all of the different data sets that we are collecting here. And I just wanted to share one of the highlights of the expedition for me was last night. We saw some beautiful, beautiful auroras around 2 a.m. in the morning. And I come from the tropics, so that's something we don't have down there. And it was marvelous. It was something I'll never forget.
Well, great stuff. Well, that's us. I mean, it's a small part of the team, but it's one of those days. Well, I guess a perfect day, really. It's flat calm, it's sunny, and we're getting a lot of work done. So that's the whole of the team that we could spare up here in the bridge. But it's lovely to meet all of you.
Yeah, amazing. I want to try and share my screen here, Paul. Juan mentioned the auroras, and you sent me a beautiful picture. The screen share is being a bit funny today. I'm going to see if I can get it to work here. Hopefully that.
Okay, buddy.
It's not working. I'll have to mess around with it in the back. But I do have a little video clip of our boat drivers who we just met. And so the students can see the little zodiacs that you're moving around in. Oh, the scenery just looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. This was us moving into Nukvak Fjord, which is part of Nunatsiavut and was our first target. A beautiful place indeed, Joe, because, big, deep fjords with lots of different arms coming off them. It was great. We one amazing day, we were getting a lot of polar bears. And we've got to be careful with polar bears, obviously. We can't work close to them. We certainly can't be in the water with them or on beaches where they are. They're like they're a bit like the monsters in a horror film. They look like they're moving slow, but they're actually moving really fast, these big, beautiful things. So you're on one side of the bay thinking maybe you could work on the other, but you can't because they move so fast. Yeah. And at the end of that whole session in Nutvak Fjord, we realized that we'd see more polar bears than mosquitoes. What do you think of that?
That's pretty amazing because you definitely hear about the bugs in the Arctic. So there's definitely lots of polar bears out there then. Very cool.
So pulling into Nutvak on that day, it's a great memory because every time we arrive in a new area, we're very fortunate. It's often not been studied comprehensively, not really widely known. And so when we do pull in there, it's a very, very exciting moment. You know, it's a bit, imagine rolling into the water or seeing something for the very first time. It's a really great feeling, Joe. And that little video captures our arrival into Nutvak Fjord perfectly.
Very cool. Well, let's turn it over to our summer school crews joining us today. I'm going to start bringing them in. We'll get some questions from them.
You're ready.
Paul, you can bring the right person in to answer the questions, Paul, but let's get started. We've got Discovery Elementary joining us. They're summer school crew. They are in Virginia. How are we doing, everyone?
Good.
Everybody, how you doing?
Good.
Thanks for joining us here in the subarctic of Canada.
Okay.
All right. Who's got a question for us?
Thank you.
What's the question? Allie, what's your question?
My question is, it's really amazing to see you.
Same here.
Remember what questions are. That means you want an answer back from
asking something. Zane? How many things have you done there?
what?
How many things have we done? You know, loads of things. These expeditions are great because on any day we've got the media team out filming things both above the water and underwater. We've got the science team doing all kinds of experiments both in the water and back on the ship. We've got the boats running everywhere. The cooks are really busy place. So I reckon each day, we're doing about 58 million things. How's that? But that's not an accurate estimate. It's a rough guess. Yeah.
The other thing is it doesn't get dark. So we work from dawn till dusk, from 4 a.m. until 10 or 11 p.m. So it makes for long days. The sun never sets.
All right, Virginia crew, let's squeeze in one more question, then we'll meet another one of our classes.
I don't think we've had that question before.
When you have free time, what do you do?
Oh, that's a great question, Paul. Did you hear that? What do you guys do in your free time? Do you have any?
Free time. Yeah, that's a good one. We sort of have free time because in between when boats are going and boats coming and divers going and things happening, we all have little bits of free time. I suppose the most important bits of free time is the food. So we tend to eat when we're not working. And when the communications are good, we communicate with our family and friends. And of course, back to National Geographic and our partners at Oceans North and our community partners. There's a small gym on board. And even if we haven't got time for a proper long workout session, we do something that we call invisible exercise. And what that is every time we pass the gym, we do something.
All right. Very cool. Virginia crew, we'll visit you again if we have some time. Give us a big wave. It's good to see you today.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. We have a double group joining us. They're joining us in New York. There's two groups. So I'm going to bring the first group in right now. Let's see how they're doing today. How are we doing, New York? All right.
Everybody.
Who's got a question for us?
How do you eat on the boat?
Can you a little bit louder, bud?
How can you eat on the boat?
Oh, Paul, is it hard to eat on the boat? Like, is it moving around too much? Anyone getting seasick? That kind of thing.
No, we haven't had anybody get seasick. This ship is called the Polar Prince, and she's really, really stable. So we've been very lucky in the fact that the weather's good. It's run by an amazing captain called Stefan Guy and his team. And even though we have an ambitious journey to go, he's able to position the ship always so it's very comfortable. And we have been very lucky. It hasn't been super rough. Partly that's just we got lucky with the weather. Partly it's because there's quite a lot of ice around, and the ice has a dampening effect on the waves, as you can imagine. And the third thing is the food is absolutely brilliant. So we just can't avoid it.
All right. I see a hand at the back. Do you want to go ahead with the question? Yeah, in the dark shirt. You've had your hand up for a while.
What kind of sea animals do you see?
Okay. Paul, they're wondering about what you're seeing. What kind of animals? What kind of marine life?
Alan, hang on. Let's bring in Alan.
It's been amazing. Around Churchill, where we just came from, there's beluga whales everywhere. There are these beautiful white whales, and there's thousands of them in this estuary, in this kind of river mouth that are there this time of year. And we've just seen them everywhere. We've seen a lot of polar bears. Everybody thinks polar bears are in trouble, and they are in some places, but we've seen lots of polar bears around here. They seem like they're doing really well. All kinds of fish, sculpins, these big-headed fish, seeing different types of cod, all different kinds of algae and invertebrates underwater, sea stars, brittle stars, snails, you name it. Hardest thing is to figure out what everything under we.
All right. I think we might have another technology pause. Don't forget that they are in one of the most remote places you can be, up in the subarctic in Hudson Bay. So it's amazing we're having such a clear connection, but I think every once in a while we might lose that connectivity and they have to do a quick reboot to get back in with us. We'll give them another moment to be able to come in and join us that way. And then we're going to slide over and we'll visit our other New York group. We'll bring in a couple more groups as well. I want to remind everybody who's tuning in via YouTube not to be shy. Use that chat sidebar. If you have a question for the team, don't hesitate to put that question into the chat. And I just saw they just disappeared from my screen, which means they're reloading. So hopefully we will see them again soon. And you heard Paul mention a huge shout out to the engineers, because up until about half hour before this event this morning, we weren't sure if it was going to happen today because the comms on the ship had completely gone down. But thankfully, the team worked really hard, and right in the nick of time, we're able to get the connectivity going again. So let's give them another minute to come back in and join us. If for some reason they can't, I've got a backup plan. I'll see if I can switch them on to WhatsApp, and we can at least have them via voice if for some reason the comm signal isn't strong enough for us to continue with video. So we'll give them just another little minute in there to come and join us. While we do wait for a few moments, I'm going to share a quick link with you, because if you would like to learn a little bit more about Pristine Seas and the work that they are doing to protect marine areas all around the world, you can visit their website and see some of the work they've done in the past, some of the places they visited. So I'm going to share a quick link here. There we go. And we'll add that banner there. Okay, so if you do want to check that out later today, you can see some of the work that Pristine Seas is doing. You can also just search Pristine Seas on Google, and that link will come up there for you. So let me just tuck our group away so they don't have to look at the camera here. We'll just put me up there while we're having our little bit of a pause. Take that down there, and I'm going to try and text the crew really quickly and see if Paul can still get a text, and that will tell me how their signal is. We still text. Okay, hopefully we hear a good answer back shortly. If not, I've got a couple more pictures I can share with you. You heard them talking about the beluga, the polar bears, the auroras. So I can share some of those pictures in a moment for you. But with any luck, we're going to have them come back in with us shortly, and we can do a few more questions. It was great. We've had about 30 minutes with the team so far, but it'd be nice to bring in. I know we still have a couple groups who haven't had a chance to ask their questions yet. So it'll be really nice to be able to get them in and ask their questions. But we also might have just run out of luck with the satellite connection for today. Again, it's a really remote location. So there is a possibility that we won't be able to reconnect. So I want to be able to share my screen with you. So I have to make a quick adjustment here so that I can share a couple pictures with you while we wait to see if they can do a reboot. Just bear with me for 1 second while I make a quick change here on my computer so we can see a few pictures together. There we go. All right. I know I left you there for a moment, but that was all part of the plan to see if I could kickstart my screen share, and it worked. Okay. So I want to share a few images with you while we wait. You heard Juan mention seeing these auroras. And so most of us where we live, we don't get a chance to see these amazing auroras like they do in the subarctic and in the Arctic. And so these auroras are actually produced by waves from the sun, by electromagnetic waves from the sun interacting with our atmosphere, producing these incredible green colors, incredible red colors, and you can actually forecast these. So astronomers, forecasters, they can look at the sun and its activity, and they can predict when the right kind of time is going to happen, and these events are going to be stronger than usual. So this is what they're seeing as the sun goes down a little bit. And you heard Alan mention as well that the sun doesn't really go down in the Arctic at this time of year. And I think I heard a little beep in the background. Maybe.
We're back, Joe.
Paul, we were just talking about auroras while we were waiting for you. We got the screen share going.
Yeah, right. Well,
it
couldn't be better. When you're up this far north, communication is a tough little game, but we've got it back thanks to the ship's team again. And look, we just met Kike's just back.
Hello.
I recognize that
Kike.
face. How you doing?
You remember him?
I do.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Were you in the water this morning?
Yeah, I just went out right now. Yeah, I have my dry suit here.
What did you see?
Still got some of your dry suit on. Very cool.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and Chris is with him too. I think you know Chris. Chris runs our pelagic cameras, is a key part of the science team. And Chris is just back from a dive too. Come in, Chris.
How's it going?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good, thanks. And you?
Good. Good to see you. How's the water?
It was beautiful. Yeah, super nice in there. Lots of fish this time. Yeah.
So we've got even more of an international team now because you see Chris, who's from Australia, as you know, and Kike from Spain. So you're getting Catalonia. So you're getting a feel of the whole international nature of this team.
Oh, that's amazing, Paul. While we have a nice, good connection, let's bring in another classroom. So
Great.
This is our second group in New York. How are we doing today? There they are.
Hi, we're good.
All right. Who's got a question for us?
Come on in, mate.
Nice and loud.
What's your favorite animal that you guys have seen so far?
All right, Paul. They're wondering about people's favorite animal or maybe marine life they've seen so far.
The beluga whale.
Hey.
Yes. Super friendly.
What about you, mate?
They always look like they have a smile on their face.
Yeah.
Chris?
I think my favorite I've seen so far is the ring seal. They're really cool. Yeah.
My favorite is the fish. I mean, teeny tiny ones and big ones, and the big one from suction cup. Wherever they're sitting.
All right, we're having a connectivity adventure right now. Hopefully they come back shortly, but I just shared that picture of that beluga. So if you're unfamiliar with the beluga, they're really cool species here, and you can see how they kind of looks like they're always grinning, like you heard them mention just before there. So there's a nice shot here of a beluga doing a little spy hopping, kind of looking around its environment, probably really curious about the ship there. I see
Right, back.
There we go. You're back.
We lost you there. And for me, it is the polar bears. There's something wonderful about the polar bears. They look as if they're not moving fast, but they are moving fast. And it's the first time we've really studied them when swimming. And they don't swim like a sort of doggy paddle. They swim with big strokes with their, big front paws are like paddles. And we learned that they stream their back legs out behind them. So they're very streamlined in the water. And what? Do they move fast?
All right. New York crew, do you have a second question? Do you have a follow-up? Sorry, I missed that. How many?
Have you ever hunted any animals there?
Oh, I think she's asking if there's any, have you done any hunting? Maybe any, catching fish to supplement the food. Oh, I see someone in the back.
Yep. Where I'm from on Hudson's Bay, we do a lot of hunting. A lot of it is just getting our food because it's hard to get a lot of food up here. And so a lot of the times we go hunting for our food every year during every season. We hunt caribou, and we do a lot of fishing. Moose, definitely. We do geese, duck, and partridge. Yeah, there's a lot of hunting we do out here.
But not from the boat.
Yeah, but not from the boat. Not from the boat.
How cool is that? Great stuff. Hey, thank you.
Paul, you were about to show us something before that question. What did you have there?
Kiko, somebody. Look, we do, Molly, one of our scientists, brought this, and Kiko, you can talk through it, can't you?
Yeah. Well, here we have some red algae. You see? These algae are red. Even if they seem black, they are red. And they are in the hard bottoms, in rocky bottoms, and below the kelps. The kelps are too high or too big to show you here because they can measure up to 3 meters or even longer. And here there is this small crab. Can you? This crab. Can you see it? And there is some algae growing over it in order that he can escape predators, because predators, they think that is an algae, so they don't care about it. So he runs away smoothly, and nobody sees them. So it's the way they have to hide from other animals that they want to eat them. Okay, so.
That's alive right now.
Yeah, it's alive. It's alive. He's moving. You see? He's moving.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Great camouflage.
So you get an idea that this ship, particularly the science laboratory down underneath us, is full of all kinds of exciting things down in there, And thanks, Kike. Kike was straight back from a very cold dive to show us. And Molly's here too. Molly's back from the same dive. Introduce Molly Timmers.
Hi, everyone. So I just went on a dive with Kike, and I don't know if you've met Chris. He was there too. And so Chris did the fish, Kike did the algae, and then I was looking at all the invertebrates, so basically everything else. And we found some shrimp. We found sea squirts or tunicates, which are these solitary organisms that suck in water on one siphon, pump it out on the other. We saw anemones, which are beautiful, and it looks like they've just got like tentacles around them, but they can actually move. We saw lots of different mussels and all sorts of nudibranchs. We have this beautiful nudibranch. It was an aeoliolid, and it was white, and it looks like it has little tentacles hanging up from it. Sea slugs. Sorry, sea slug would be better for it. But yeah, lots of really nice stuff down there. It was very beautiful. Little cold, but not too bad.
All right, very cool. Well, as a diver myself, I can appreciate a good nudie. Nudibranchs are super cool. That's so good.
How cold was it?
It was 6 degrees. Celsius. Sorry. 6 degrees Celsius. Or I think that's about 44 Fahrenheit. About that.
Okay.
Cold though.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Joe, I just got on WhatsApp from a team watching, and the question was, how many polar bears came close to the boat?
Yeah.
And let me just check, how many did we have close to the boat? We had quite a lot.
It depends on the time of day. It seemed like they like coming for breakfast.
Yes, early in the morning we've had them. We've had at least 5 or 6 very close to the boat. One in particular, we were very happy that we didn't have the boarding platform in the water, because we thought he probably would have come up.
Us for breakfast.
Yes, and in fact, Manu, who's our underwater filmmaker, he made a joke yesterday. He said that before he comes out of his cabin, he looks up and down the corridor to make sure there's no bears on the boat.
Very cool. I want to get in a Canadian class here. We've got a Canadian virtual class joining us from Cortice, Ontario. Miss Walchuk's crew. Let me see if I can bring them in. Miss Walchuk, you there?
Hi.
There we go.
It is just me alone in this room, but I've been getting questions through our Google Meet chat, and we have lots of questions about the logistics of this voyage. So how long is it from the time you leave until the time you get back home? And then do you do this frequently? Like, are you going to hop on this again, after you take a break at home or things like that? So those sort of logistical questions. And I also had a question about if the water's 6 degrees, but you're all wearing like t-shirts and sweaters, what's the air temperature as well?
That's a great one. Well, yeah, we can, from the logistics point of view, this is a pretty long expedition, full of months, and it's one of our longer ones. Normally, we seem to be efficient on an expedition 4 weeks on site. That seems to work really well. We can get a lot of work done in about 3 or 4 weeks. But on these remote ones, particularly this one, working so closely with the
All right, looks like we're going to have another little tech pause here as the satellite reconnects. Hopefully we'll see a spinning wheel in a minute, and that means things are in a moment or so. That means things are reconnecting with us. We are probably running close to the end of our session, so if there's any burning questions on there out in YouTube land, feel free to send in those questions via the chat. But we'll get these questions wrapped up from our crew in Ontario, and then we might wrap up today's session and let the crew get back to work. Some good science, some good exploration. And then it's going to be incredible to see the footage that comes from this expedition in ecosystems that are rarely ever visited. And there we go. They just disappeared. So hopefully that means that we'll see them again shortly. And if there's time, maybe we'll get Paul to tell his polar bear story, because Paul had a pretty wild polar bear experience in a different part of the Arctic years ago, and it's quite a wild experience. But we'll see what kind of time we have, and we'll see if we can get that reconnect going. I see a few groups there in the chat. George joining us from New Jersey, a homeschool crew. Looks like Victor in Colombia joining us. That's really cool. I see a few shouting out to Piwanak crew. Tara and Ivan shouting out to the crew, to those guys. That's great. Who else is with us? We've got Linda in Albany, New York. So don't be shy. If you want to squeeze a question into the YouTube chat, we can try and work something in. But we're going to get them back in hopefully one more time, wrap up our questions from our crew in Ontario, and then we might say goodbye for now. And the plan is to reconnect with the team a few more times this summer. So if there's any groups that are still going to be around in the next few weeks in summer school, then of course we'd love to have you reconnect with us, and we can catch up and see where they've been, what they found, what happened in the last week or two since we connected with them last from the Polar Prince. All right, so we'll give it another minute. It took a few minutes last time before they were able to reconnect. I'll share that link one more time if you do. Miss Walchuk's class was asking specifically about expeditions. And so you'll see that Pristine Seas travels all over the world. We connected a few months ago when they were in Colombia. Juan was leading that expedition, and we got to meet some incredible members of the team. And we did that event in Spanish, which was so cool because there were so many communities in Colombia who were able to join in. So many children from school groups and such who were able to join in with us. So that was a lot of fun. And I know that they've got a huge, crazy busy schedule coming up with Pristine Seas. This is going to take them right through the next few years as they go around the world, documenting kind of the most pristine, the wildest places still left in our ocean, bringing that back to government leaders, working towards policy change, and then having these large areas of ocean protected for generations to come. And they have an incredible track record of getting large, million square kilometers of ocean protected all over the world. And a big part of what they're doing right now in Canada is working to get more area protected. So right now, Canada protects about 13% of its ocean. And so the goal is 25% by 2025 and then 30% by 2030. So a big goal for a country like Canada, which we know is coast to coast to coast, with 3 oceans reaching our shores. And then let's just take a quick look. I see a couple comments coming in there. It looks like a couple people again shouting out to our Piwarnak crew. It's awesome. So great to have you joining us. Hopefully we're able to do a couple more of these events before the expedition finishes, and you can join us again. I'm going to give it about another minute and we'll see if they're able to join us again and we can get a good goodbye with the crew. But knowing this morning that the comms was acting up a little bit, and they were able to patch things together so we could get this great connection. And actually, I'm going to check my email too, because Paul, they've got satellite phone, and he was able to email me from his satellite phone. So he'll be able to tell me as well how things are looking through a satellite phone email, if things are really looking like they won't be able to reconnect. So let me check my email really fast here. Okay, I don't see anything yet. All right, well, maybe this is a good time to, give a shout out to all of our live crews who joined us, our summer school crews. A shout out to those who were able to tune in live via YouTube from different places in Canada and the US today. Thank you so much for joining us. I was really struck today by meeting the Pristine Seas team that they have right now, and what an incredible international crew it was, from Colombia to Mexico to places in Europe to Canada, New Zealand. Really, that crew is joining from all around the world, all coming together for, that purpose, that new science, that new exploration. And then, of course, what comes out of that is incredible conservation. That's really important too. So, yeah, I think I don't see them there. So I think we're going to call it for today. Again, a shout out to oh, look at that. We're going to get a goodbye. Let me bring them in here.
We're back, Joe.
We're back.
back. We were seconds away from wrapping things up. You came in at the perfect timing for a big shout out.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, Paul, the whole team. I was just saying, we're struck by this incredible international crew that has all come together for this great science, research, exploration, and all the conservation that's going to come out of it. It's really amazing to get a chance to talk to everybody and hear everybody's roles. And of course, we can't wait to see if we can do this again during the expedition.
Yes, please, Joe. Well, it's wonderful to be, in a remote, powerful place like this, and yet still being able to connect with all of you, thanks to your work, Joe. And I often think, when I was the age of you lot in the school, it would have been an amazing thing to have had a moment to look on the screen and see Alan and Jenny and a team doing exciting things in remote places. That would have been quite the moment for me, and I hope it all is for all of you too. And thanks for joining us.
All right, we've got a couple classrooms still with us. Let's see if they can be a little bit loud. We get a big goodbye and thank you from our New York crews. There they are.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, team. Good luck. We can't wait to connect again.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks
See you
a lot.
soon.
We enjoyed it.